So she'll take a gap year. She'll have to do some stuff. So she'll take a gap year and also start. So when they start doing those things, one of our teachers, she did. You don't get anything. So my niece did that and made, hey, don't do that. Don't do that. So hers is with the bachelor's, but she still has to get her master's. We need to see so she'll just come to get her master's, to get her units also. Yeah, but I know she's gonna be under. Is it 60 again masters or is it 64? Ours is masters and 15.
Excuse me, sir. Coming up.
Bachelor's at 75. So it's bachelor's at 75, masters, and 6 months to do the well. I have seen people. Just coming home with these. Give her a hug for me. She's teaching. Not that she's student teaching. She's teaching. I remember he's having yeah, she's 4th grade this semester. Next semester. Because you should know. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I don't want to block you. Oh, let's go. Put it under that. Oh, my God. Oh, I think this one's
So sorry, walk in. Yes, sorry.
let's get out. Tell Kim I need it.
Like a good idea.
I'm trying to find a back spot.
Tell I know. It's just old. Yeah.
Good.
I didn't kick yours. If I kick mine. Excuse me.
Oh, sorry. I'm so
It's so crowded. I'm trying to make room for everyone.
Oh, it's are you guys good? You got one?
Yeah.
Sorry. I know. You're shorter than I am. Something like this. You want? I'm short. I know. There's very few people I can say that. Just
You know, sometimes I see those people in the grocery store, the person's short, and then I think, no, I'm short. Hi. We have parent conferences this week. Also, busy week. Super busy.
oh, you guys are on.
Yes.
You decided to do parent conferences. We should do it the week of Thanksgiving. I have 15 minutes.
Oh. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. You guys can have a cross if you want.
Okay. Yes, yes.
Everybody comes to tell me how to eat.
Yes.
Because they'll be like,
Yep.
Oh, she survived.
Well, I have 32 altogether, so I've done 10 Monday and Tuesday altogether. So, just a few more.
Yeah.
Vicky has 9 tomorrow, right?
I have 32 conferences and 5 today.
All right, we're gonna reconvene our regular session at 6:04 PM. Our report out of closed session is as follows. The board met and conferred in closed session to approve workers' compensation claim number 2300297. Motion was made by Mr. Youngblood, a second by Mrs. Anderson, and the vote carried 5-0. We also met and voted to approve the recommended expulsion of student number 2502.7. Motion was made by Mrs. Buck, the second by Mr. Youngblood, and it carried 5-0. At this time, I'm going to ask Trustee Youngblood to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Would you please rise?
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Someday.
Okay, let the record show that all of our board members, including our student board member Luke, are present. And I need an approval of the agenda, please.
I'll make a motion for the approval of the agenda for November 19th, 2024.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Mr. Frazier. I have a second by Mr. Youngblood. Any comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm an aye. Luke, are you an aye? All right, motion carries 5-0 with an aye from our student board member. Go on to our public comment announcement. Public comment cards are available on the foyer. Cards must be completed and turned in prior to the designated time for public comment. There will be a maximum of 3 minutes per person. If translation is needed, an additional 3 minutes will be given. Please let us know ahead of time so we can ensure we are prepared. We have a civility policy. Education Code 220 prohibits discrimination on the basis of disability, gender, gender identity, gender expression, nationality, race or ethnicity, religion, sexual orientation, or any other characteristic that is contained in the definition of hate crime set forth in section 422.55 of the Penal Code, including immigration status. I need a motion for the minutes, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting on October 8th, 2024 as presented. Second.
I have a motion by Mrs. Anderson. I have a second by Mrs. Buck. Any comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm an aye, and we have an aye from our student board member. Motion carries 5-0. All right, now we have recognitions. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Turnus.
Good evening. Tonight we have the privilege of presenting the You Are the Advantage Award to 2 outstanding members of our district family, District Nurse Elise Sailors and Travis Ranch Health Clerk Jennifer Gallegos. Elise and Jennifer, would you please join me at the left turn?
Interesting.
Okay. The You Are the Advantage Award honors individuals, organizations, and employees who exemplify the district's 4 core values: excellence, collaboration, integrity, and innovation. For those fortunate enough to know or work with Elise or Jennifer, you've experienced firsthand their dedication to these values. For those who have not yet had the pleasure, allow me to share a little more about them. Elise and Jennifer are vital members of our remarkable health services department, whose mission is to ensure all children enjoy optimal health to fully benefit from their education. This department, comprised of credentialed school nurses like Elise and health clerks like Jennifer, who serve at each school site. While health clerks are not licensed, they receive training in basic first aid and CPR to address students' immediate needs in the health office. Credentialed school nurses work closely with our health clerks to promote wellness and ensure the best possible outcomes for all students. Let's start with Elise, who has distinguished herself as an outstanding school nurse. Elise serves Yorba Linda High School, Fairmont Elementary School, OCSCS, and Travis Ranch School collectively, supporting the well-being of over 3,700 students. Elise joined PYL in 2011 after an impressive 20-year career as the Director of Quality Management at PIH Health Downey Hospital. She holds a bachelor's degree of science in nursing from Cal State Dominguez Hills, earned her school nursing credential from Cal State Fullerton, and is a nationally certified school nurse.
Terry Sell.
Elise also serves as treasurer of the Orange County School Nurse Organization. In addition to her professional accomplishments, Elise is a proud PYL parent. All 4 of her children graduated from our schools. 2 are accountants, and 2 of them have pursued careers in healthcare. 1 in optometry, and another is an emergency medicine physician. We're delighted to welcome her husband, Brian, her mother, Linda, who are here with us this evening. When asked about Elise, Health Services Administrator Michelle DeHaven, these words: "It's both an honor and a privilege to work alongside Elise. She is not only a caring and compassionate professional, but also an incredibly skilled and highly qualified school nurse. Her ability to think quickly and respond effectively in high-pressure situations is truly remarkable. Elise, your dedication to our school community and your exceptional problem-solving abilities are deeply appreciated. You're an integral part of our team. We are so fortunate to have you with us. Thank you for all that you do each and every day to ensure our students' health and safety." Stay up here. Let's turn to Jennifer, who joined us as a health clerk in March 2023. She holds a bachelor's degree in gender, ethnic, and multicultural studies from Cal Poly Pomona. She has found her passion working in healthcare and supporting children at Travis Ranch School. Also joining us tonight is Jennifer's mother, Sonia. Last month, Jennifer's calm demeanor and swift action were pivotal in saving a student's life. When a 4th grader experienced an allergic reaction to a bee sting, Jennifer quickly leaned into her first aid training and contacted Elise for guidance. Elise, who was nearby, rushed to the scene, and together they confirmed the student was experiencing an anaphylactic reaction. Recognizing the severity of the situation, they administered an EpiPen, potentially saving the student's life. Their quick thinking and potential teamwork are a testament to their dedication to our students' health and safety. Travis Ranch Principal Kristen Petrovaki praised Jennifer, saying her calm demeanor and composure under pressure were instrumental in ensuring the best possible outcome. We're deeply grateful for her exceptional dedication in our health office, knowing our students are in capable and caring hands. This moment also underscores the importance of California Education Code 49414, which requires all public schools to be equipped with emergency epinephrine auto-injectors to treat anaphylaxis. At PYL, our school nurses ensure that staff working closely with students are trained to recognize and respond to allergic reactions, making a profound difference in critical situations. On behalf of the Board of Education, it's my honor to present You Are the Advantage Award to Jennifer Gallegos. If you can, I'd like you to come up here. We can get a picture of you with the board.
Maybe it's standing.
Okay, Luke, you ready? Take it away.
Good evening, President Blades, trustees, Superintendent Chernus, and executive cabinet members. I'm excited to be here tonight and share recent updates from our comprehensive high school and alternative campuses. Buena Vista Virtual Academy and Parkview School welcomed Vietnam veteran Lieutenant Colonel Stephen Lund, who spoke to elementary students in honor of Veterans Day. The PTSA also hosted its annual book fair and fall festival, featuring games, square dancing, food, and fun. High school students serve as community volunteers, supporting their younger peers during the event. El Camino Real students recently visited Fullerton College. The 22 students explored the campus, attended classes, and met with career and financial aid counselors to plan their futures. A school-wide field trip to SoFi Stadium is scheduled for November 20th. Students and staff will tour the stadium facility through an academic lens, focusing on the elements that go into building a state-of-the-art venue. Their sustainability commitment and the steps taken to limit their carbon footprint, their vast technology systems that operate the stadium, and architectural and engineering side of the build, and much more. After lunch and some activity time on the field, students will participate in a career panel with employees from all facets of operations in order to learn about the pathways to their respective careers. The annual Tree of Thanks activity is also underway, where students and staff will put what they are thankful for on different colored leaves, and the leaves are posted on our tree in the middle of the campus. El Dorado High School held its 12th annual Fallen Heroes Memorial Veterans Day ceremony on November 8th. Every year, the ceremony is live streamed throughout the country and into classrooms, and is highlighted by recognizing the 3 Gold Star families of Golden Hawks who lost their lives protecting their country. The 3 fallen are Staff Sergeant William Harrell, Corporal Claudio Patino, and Sergeant Jason Weaver. The ceremony also recognizes veterans in attendance by holding a roll call. Taps is performed for the fallen when their name is announced. Students this year who participated in the event were poem reader and senior Elise Shum, moderator and senior AC president Luke Kilstrom, that's me, and jazz horn trumpet player and senior Miles Olson. Former principal Mrs. Carrie Aiello gave a powerful and impactful closing to this year's ceremony. This event can still be viewed through El Dorado's Hawk Talk YouTube channel, EDHS Video Production. EDHS would also like to thank board member Marilyn Anderson and Sean Youngblood and Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services, Dr. Olivia Yang, for being in attendance. Esperanza is continuing their PBIS program after being awarded gold this year. Students are awarded with treats every week if they have earned a Pride card in around school. Pride cards are given if a student is given to a student if they are showing characteristics of positive, responsible, innovative, determined, or engaged on campus. Students took part in What If Week, where posed questions and held activities for the students to continue to make Esperanza a school that is welcoming, inclusive, and kind. We just finished up our high school showcase, where we showed all incoming 8th graders and students all the great things that Esperanza has to offer, from academics to athletics to arts and more. Great to see so many eager Aztecs on campus. This week is a busy week at Esperanza, as we have Future Ready Day this Wednesday to have every senior fill out a college application. Thursday, we have a blood drive, unified sports game, and fall fest, which will connect students even more to school. Esperanza also celebrated outstanding achievements in CIF competitions across all sports: cross country, women's tennis, women's golf, girls flag football, and football. Preparations are now underway for winter sports. Venture Academy's Coffee Cats program continues to thrive, offering coffee, tea, and seasonal treats while planning to expand its menu. The program supports community events, including the upcoming principals meeting in December. George Key School hosts a fall craft day on November 15th, featuring sensory activities, crafts, and refreshments for students and their families. The school also looks forward to annual Rotary Christmas Party on December 13th, made possible by Sunrise Rotary of Yorba Linda. Valencia High School celebrated athletic success with first place finishes in girls golf, tennis, volleyball, and cross country in the Empire League. Sophomore Michaela Gill will compete in CIF cross country finals on November 22nd at Mount Sac. Best of luck, Michaela. The Tiger Regiment concluded its undefeated season with a first place finish at the Savannah High School Field Show. This concludes their competition season in which they were undefeated. AP exam sales have concluded with over 1,800 exams being purchased, serving our 900 students for testing in spring 2025, reflecting the school's strong academic engagement. On Thursday, November 7th, Valencia's High School Showcase was a standing room only event, welcoming future Tigers from the class of 2029 and introducing them to programs like IB, Cambridge, and Valtech. Class of 2029. That's great. Yorba Linda High School successfully completed its WASC accreditation visit this past October. The visiting committee provided positive feedback on the strength of Yorba Linda High School's arts, athletics, and academic programs. Thank you to the entire YLHS community, teachers, classified staff, students, parents, community members, and district personnel for their support throughout this process. The Mustang Band and Guard took sweepstake at Laura, third at South Hills, and fourth in their group at prelims. They also had successful performances at the Placentia and Anaheim parades. The orchestra had a successful Sinfonia night this month, and their choir is in preparation for Winterfest on December 3rd at Disneyland and December 12th at a winter concert and December 16th. Well, the theater department is in the middle of their fall play, Noise is Off. It's playing this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at the Forum. The dance company is getting ready for their performance, Waves, on December 6th and 7th at the PAC. Varsity Cheer qualified for and is going to attend the National High School Cheer Championships in Orlando, Florida for the first time in school history. They qualified at the UCA Southern California Regionals last Saturday at Miracosta High School, placing second in the experienced and highly competitive field of schools. The Mustangs just finished our You Matter Week, a week when they proudly celebrated every Mustang on campus. Both students and staff joined in the excitement with spirited dress-up days and a variety of engaging activities, all designed to remind everyone that they had a very important and valued part of our Mustang community. And then it's not written down here, I didn't put it down, but YLHS football is in the semifinals of Division II. That is fantastic. I watched the game last Friday. It was incredible. Shout out to my friend Drake Gomez, the starting great player. And all my friends are going to go to the game on Friday, so I hope you guys make the 2-hour drive out to support the Mustangs. But that concludes my support.
Once again, lovely board report.
Thank you.
We all are actually wondering if you would want to read ours. All right, so I do have a question, and if 2029 feels a little, dated to you, imagine how it feels like to the rest of us.
That checks out, yeah.
Yeah, but that's not my question. My question is, what are some of the opportunities that PYLUSD has given you to grow as a student and a leader?
For me, one of the biggest opportunities granted to me, and then 43 other kids are in ASB right now at EDHS. I've been in for 3 years. I was a sophomore president. I did the rallies last year, and now ACE president. But under the leadership of Mr. Campuzano, he allows us to grow so much as leaders. And that program at El Dorado is just fantastic. So I'm really grateful to have this opportunity to do this and to do everything at El Dorado. And that's really helped me grow as a leader and something that PYUC has given me. So keep going.
Amazing. Well, we are really grateful. All right, I'm going to give, we have an avid presentation. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Olivia Young.
Luke, you gonna chip in for me here?
If you want me to, I can.
Thank you. Okay, well, good evening, President Blades, Board Trustees, Superintendent Dr. Ernest, members of Executive Cabinet. It is my pleasure to share information this evening about the AVID program and how it's helping us ensure college and career readiness for all students across the district. I'd like to begin by sharing AVID's mission, which is to close the opportunity gap by preparing all students for success in college and career readiness in a global society. As you can see, this directly supports our district's vision and mission as well. At the foundation of AVID is WICR, which is a research and evidence-based learning support structure that helps students develop the skills and behaviors that prepare them for college and career success. These Tier 1 instructional strategies are student-centered, provide scaffolds to learning, help promote equity, build literacy, strengthen critical thinking, and are effective in any content area and any classroom on any campus. The AVID stretches far beyond WICR, which is the hallmark of the program. The global work that AVID does with districts and schools is rooted in their college and career readiness framework, which represents AVID's theory of action. Within this framework, educators take actions together in alignment across the 4 core domains of instruction, systems, leadership, and culture to help students develop the skills, knowledge, and experience needed to succeed in college, careers, and life. Essentially, AVID has identified what educators do and what students need, and how those things come together to work to close the opportunity gap so our students can be ready for college and career. In essence, AVID is both the vehicle with which to transport our instructional vision, as well as the belief system that is needed to ensure that every one of our students can and will succeed. Now that we have an understanding of AVID's mission, their core instructional strategies and guiding framework, I'd like to share a bit about what the program looks like at the elementary and secondary levels. At the elementary level, AVID is a school-wide approach for grades TK through 6, and it's intended to close the opportunity gaps before it begins. By teaching and reinforcing academic behaviors and higher level thinking at a young age, AVID elementary teachers create a ripple effect in later grades. Elementary students develop the academic habits that they'll need to be successful in middle school, high school, and college in an age-appropriate and challenging way. Children learn about organization, study skills, communication, and self-advocacy. WICR strategies are embedded into the daily instruction of all elementary classrooms across entire grade levels, such as focus notes and the use of high-level questions. At the elementary level, AVID is not a standalone program or a pullout, but is instead a school-wide system that equips students with the academic, social, emotional, and professional knowledge and skills that are needed in the changing world. Now at the secondary level, AVID takes the form of an elective class for students who are typically the first in their family to attend college, who are middle performing and have the potential to excel with support from AVID strategies. The elective class provides structured tutorials for students twice a week by college tutors, as well as an explicit college and career readiness curriculum that heavily supports literacy. I liken the role of the AVID elective teachers as school parents to their AVID students, constantly monitoring student progress, helping them strengthen core skills, building their self-advocacy, and unlocking the hidden curriculum of college entrance and success. At the secondary level, when AVID goes beyond the elective class and expands school-wide, you can find the AVID strategies implemented in all classrooms across the campus. This is the marker of a school who has committed to instructional excellence, and their practices are used with all students. This inevitably leads to a culture of high expectations and academic behaviors that permeate the entire campus. Now that we have a strong understanding of what the AVID program entails and looks like, I'd like to share how it has grown over time and impacted our student achievement in this district. AVID has been in our district for 28 years, dating back to 1997, with one class of AVID offered at Kramer Middle School, followed by one class of AVID offered at Valencia High School the following year. Over 28 years, we have now expanded AVID to all of our secondary schools, including El Camino this year, and 13 out of 21 of our elementary schools, with 3 additional elementary schools in the process of becoming AVID schools. Additionally, 2 out of 6 of our middle schools are also AVID Excel schools, which specifically supports our long-term English learners by accelerating language acquisition, developing literacy, and placing them on the path to high school AVID and college preparatory coursework. We have invested significant resources in AVID over the years to train our staff, with 419 staff members trained in the last 5 years alone. We are proud to share that our district is home to one AVID Showcase School at Ruby Drive, which means they host events for educators throughout the state to learn about and observe the strong implementation and commitment to Avid strategies present. We're also proud to share that out of only 61 Avid national demonstration schools in the state and 213 across the country, our district is home to 2 Avid national demonstration schools at Kramer and Valencia.
Awesome.
National demonstration schools serve as a model for the Avid college readiness system and have demonstrated a commitment to excellence in both the Avid elective and school-wide high expectations for all students. In fact, we were informed by Avid that we are the only district to have a TK-12 Avid national demonstration feeder pattern, not only in the state, but in the entire Western region. So as more and more of our elementary schools are opting to implement Avid, we are creating a collective vision and common academic language for student success. In turn, our students exhibit higher agency, a stronger academic mindset, and are better equipped with the skills and strategies to succeed in secondary school and beyond. But don't take it from me. Let's hear it directly from our students and staff. At this time, I'd like to invite 3 students from our TK-12 National Demonstration Path schools to share about the impact Avid has had on their success. To begin, I'd like to invite Ruby Drive's principal, Lisa Carmona, and Andrea Gonzalez, a fourth grader, to the lectern.
Thank you, Dr. Young, and good evening to the board and executive cabinet. As an Avid Showcase school, Ruby Drive is committed to a culture of academic rigor and a supportive learning environment. Beginning in TK, Ruby scholars learn the foundational skills in organization, inquiry, collaboration, and critical thinking, which helps students build lifelong learning habits. These habits instill the confidence and resilience needed to achieve success. With me tonight is Andrea Canizales, a 4th grade Avid scholar. She is here with her mother and proud teachers, Miss Lawrence and Miss Burrows. Andrea embodies the qualities of a true Avid leader. She is a problem solver, a collaborator, and a confident communicator who is a positive role model to her peers. She will now share how Avid has had a positive impact on her education thus far.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Andrea Canizales, and I am a 4th grader at Ruby Drive Elementary School. I would like to share how Avid Elementary program has made a difference in my education. First off, I would like to let you know what Avid stands for. Avid stands for Advancement via Individual Determination. I have been in the Avid program since kindergarten. I have been an Avid ambassador for the school several times. I truly enjoy being an Avid ambassador since I feel like a strong leader. I enjoy teaching others all the Avid strategies we use at Ruby Drive. Because of Avid, I'm organized, confident, and ready to learn. My binder, forever folder, tabs, and agenda help me stay organized and to be able to find everything I need easily. I also feel like my 2 and my 3 column focus notes help me stay organized and ready to go further with my essay writing. One thing I really like about Avid is the collaboration. It helps me as well as others. If my partner or I don't understand something, we are able to ask questions and get ideas from each other. Through the discussion with others, I have become a better critical thinker and I am able to ask important questions. Avid has made me feel like a leader and part of the community at Ruby Drive. I will take what I've learned and continue with the strategies in middle school and in high school. Avid has helped me set future goals. I plan to attend UCLA and hope to be a lawyer one day. I know Avid will help me achieve this. Thank you for giving me a chance to share how Avid has helped me and my classmates become better students and bigger dreamers.
That was amazing. I'd now like to invite Kramer's principal, Matt Calloway, and Isabel Halifax Nungaray, an Avid Excel 8th grader, to that lectern.
Thank you, Dr. Young. Good evening, President Blades, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Dr. Alex Turnus, and Executive Cabinet. At Kramer Middle School, Avid has transformed how we support student success. It's not just a program, it's a part of our culture. Through Avid, we've equipped students with the skills, confidence, and mindset to pursue their goals, creating pathways for achievement that extend far beyond middle school. It is my honor to introduce Suzelle Palafox Nungrai, one of our outstanding 8th grade students in Avid Excel. Suzelle is a second-generation Kramer student and a shining example of the opportunities Avid creates. She's here along with her family and her teachers, Miss Beth Missouri and Miss Jessica Rosette, to share her story and the impact Avid has had on her journey.
Good evening. My name is Susel Ruby Nungaray Palafox, and I want to share how Avid has helped me grow. One of the biggest changes I've noticed is in my communication skills. Before Avid, I was shy and afraid of what others would think of me. But my teacher, Miss Chia, encouraged me to pretend no one was watching and reminded me that 10 years from now, I won't care about others' opinion. This helps me feel more confident when I speak. Avid has also helped me get organized. In 6th grade, I often lost papers and missed deadlines, which affected my grades. Since joining Avid, I've been able to improve my organization and have seen my grades go up. I mostly get A's now, although science last year with Mr. Oblexi was a big challenge. Lastly, Avid encouraged me to set goals. I used to feel unsure about sharing my interests, but now I'm confident in saying I want to accomplish big dreams in the future, like working in crime scenes, investigation, or becoming an immigration lawyer and helping people without legal status get their papers. Avid has is on track to reach your goals. Thank you for my teachers for guiding me along the way. I promise to make you all proud.
Thank you, Susel. I mean, this was quite a feat to talk in front of a room like this. Great job.
Yes.
And finally, I'd like to invite Valencia's assistant principal, Paola Suchland, and Cesar Mora, a dual IB and Avid 12th grader, to the lectern.
Good evening, everyone. Buenas tardes a todos. Thank you, Dr. John. Avid has impacted Valencia by giving students the tool to challenge themselves in rigorous classes like AP and IB and college level courses. And also, it has allowed them to apply to colleges our students have never dreamed and to help them prepare for success in colleges and beyond. Today I have Cesar, along with his family, Ms. Nasu, his counselor, and Mrs. Harnett, our Avid coordinator. Cesar Mora has been an Avid student since 6th grade. He's a dual IB and Avid student, president of BHS Big Brothers, Big Sisters Club, and a scholar with a true passion for helping others. Cesar plans to become a special education teacher. And will graduate with both IB and Avid Scholar recognition. Welcome. Here you go.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me. So, as Ms. Session said, this year is my senior year, a significant milestone. But I'm also proud to say that it is my 7th year taking the Avid elective. And reflecting on who I am today, I can without hesitation attribute my academic success and my enthusiasm to the future to my experiences in the Avid program. Academically, Avid has taught me the power of collaboration and communication in learning. Through my experiences in tutorial groups, I learned how to tackle new and difficult problems with the guidance of my peers and the support of our amazing Avid tutors. At the same time, I've been able to strengthen my own understanding of content by helping others, creating a never-ending cycle of learning. My Avid teachers, Ms. Harnett, Mr. Lee, Mr. Henry, and Mr. Rao, work hard to ensure that students like myself feel safe and comfortable seeking and receiving help in the Avid classroom, at school, and beyond. Their consistent individual guidance and regular check-ins have proven to be instrumental in my high school journey and have provided me with key moments of reflection and areas for growth that have been proven necessary for me to achieve my goals. One of the most transformative tools that Avid has provided me with is the growth mindset. The growth mindset is not just a concept, it's a practice, like a habit. For me, my moment of illumination to the growth mindset was when I was encouraged to take geometry over the summer and jump into Algebra 2/trigonometry honors after taking Algebra 1 my freshman year. And I had many misgivings, especially since I doubted my mathematical abilities. However, my Avid family at Valencia, especially Ms. Nassif, gave me the courage and confidence I needed to tackle both courses. Currently, my growth mindset has allowed me to maintain a part-time job, do well in the International Baccalaureate program, and have a 0 period behind that, and be a leader in my community and at school. Avid has prepared me for a future where I'm excited to learn and grow at the university level. Especially since Avid has provided me with the skills such as focus note taking, I feel confident and prepared with my own system of focus notes, and I'm excited to see how can I apply those skills at the university level. So I could say without a doubt that Avid has significantly impacted me, not only because it has made me who I am today, but because it has shown me the possibilities of who I could be. Avid has given me the methods and tools such as organizational skills, time management, and communication in order to work hard towards going to college and to achieve my dreams. Thank you.
Thank you to all three of our students for taking the time this evening to share how Avid has impacted your success. Thank you to our site administrators and our staff who are joining us this evening as well for your support of our students, and to the families of our students. Thank you for your partnership and for entrusting us with your students. Now, to complement the amazing story shared this evening by our students, I'd like to just share some brief data about how Avid is closing the opportunity gap for our students by presenting our senior data from the class of 2024 across all 4 of our high schools. Last year, we had 138 Avid seniors in the Avid program across the district, of which 86% were socioeconomically disadvantaged. In comparing the graduation rates of our Avid students versus non-Avid students in our district, we see that 100% of our Avid students graduated as compared to our overall grad rate of 95.2%. This represents a 4.8% increase over their district peers. When we look at the courses of rigor taken, we see that 73% of our Avid seniors completed a course of rigor while in high school, as compared to 57% of all district seniors, which is a 16% increase over their district peers. When we look at the college readiness exams taken in those courses, we see that 56% of Avid seniors took a college readiness exam as compared to 32% of all district seniors. This is a 24% increase over their district peers. Then when we look at the A to G completion rate, which are the requirements necessary for entrance to a 4-year college, we see that 87% of last year's Avid seniors were A to G ready as compared to 57% of all students.
Amazing.
This was a 30% increase over their district peers. As a reminder, 86% of our Avid seniors across the district were socioeconomically disadvantaged. These results speak for themselves. Avid is irrefutably helping us close the opportunity and achievement gap in our district. And when we look at what our students do when they leave our district, we find that our Avid graduates enroll in college the first fall after high school at 87% as compared to 62% nationally, which is a 25% increase. And when we break down what type of college our Avid graduates are enrolling in, 56% enroll directly in a 4-year school and 32% enroll directly in a 2-year school, which is 11 and 15% higher than the national average respectively. Finally, when we look at the fall to fall college persistent rate of our Avid graduates compared to the national average, we find that they continue onto their second fall at an 8% higher rate than their peers across the country. So when we think about the return on investment, no other evidence-based program has generated the student outcomes like AVID has for over 40 years. And in summary, our AVID students are not just better prepared to succeed in high school and gain entrance into college, they're also finding more success when in college than their peers. And through AVID, our students are able to overcome obstacles and achieve success regardless of their life circumstances. Whether they choose to pursue college or not, our AVID students are able to think critically, collaborate, and set high expectations for themselves to confidently conquer the challenges that await them in their career and life. So in closing, we thank you for your continued support of AVID as the program continues to expand further district-wide. I would love to take a moment to thank Paul Laporte, our AVID district specialist. For his steadfast dedication to the growth of the program for the past 10 years, and to Dr. Will Gray, our Executive Director of College and Career Readiness, for ensuring that all our students graduate college and career ready. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Young. To the students here, thank you for coming and sharing with the community what we all know so well, and that is that AVID is a jewel of our school district. It's something that we're going to continue for years to come. So this is a great program. We're so proud of you guys. Thank you, teachers, for coming to support your students, and principals and administrators. And we will continue to celebrate this program and to track the success. And I think the data shows that this is not just a qualitative feel-good program. This is actually a program that works. So thank you very much.
All right, this is the time when our students and their families, if you'd like to go ahead and exit, we'll give you a couple minutes to leave the building so you guys can go home and I guess probably do homework.
No, that one. We're fine. Just took it.
Sorry, just kidding.
All good.
No problem. There. Hey there, Dan.
Sorry? I did her face standard, and I promise my legs are gonna get super crampy.
We just turned it into me.
I couldn't make the grade.
I was. Oh, that bug spray that you, I was like, I ordered one. Keep it like, that's good. In gym level.
Where do you get that from?
It's called Underside. And I do my dog's spray and then I can feed them because my dogs would have. So like, I should just.
Oh, really? Razors were fine with it, but I wish I didn't have to give it to him, but he gets back.
Yeah, things are good. Yeah, so we get rabbits so they're everywhere. So,
I don't know, I might be better cities.
they'll probably clear up a little bit more too.
And the university.
I mean, I feel like it's lady in the green, it's passing. Strike.
You're like, you're
Being like,
So.
Okay, it looks like our students have left the building.
Yes.
And so we've broken up our board meeting tonight in like different things. We're actually trying something new tonight. And so when you guys completed your speak card, you were asked what you'd like to speak on. And so we have the action items of 14.1, 14.2, 14.3, and 14.4. We're going to take those speakers right now. And so I have Nellie Raphael. I have Linda, I have John Miller, and I have Scott Sheba. And if you guys want to come to the front, you'll have 2 minutes to speak. And just so everyone knows, these are for superintendent and assistant superintendent comments. This pertains to these agenda items.
Are those all comments?
On
this subject?
On this subject.
I put my card in for this.
This subject?
I did. Brooke?
I just got for score.
That's what I was asking. Thank you so much.
Okay.
In 2020, 3 outgoing board members, Downey, Carmona, and Pageant, quickly participated in superintendent interviews just 5 days before an election. Despite the confirmation that the board would gain 3 new members after the 2020 election, the outgoing board disregarded the community and the wishes of the new members by hiring a new superintendent on a 4-year contract. These outgoing members never collaborated with the new superintendent, but ensured the union's preferred candidate was selected. Why was there no outcry at that time? With 4 existing board members on the new board and Dr. Chernus joining on a 5-0 vote in 2023, making changes to superintendent and assistant superintendent contracts is minor compared to the actions of the outgoing 2020 board. Buck and Freeman were involved in the 2020 vote that granted El Sasser a supermajority vote. Additionally, the past 2 superintendents had supermajority clauses in their contracts, so this is not introducing anything new. Also, consideration should be given to Anderson's multiple hostile work environment claims. Is this her way of retaliating against the superintendent who filed claims against her for misconduct? Let's focus on presenting facts rather than inciting chaos in the community once again.
Yeah, right.
Okay, this is the first warning. We're going to be respectful to speakers. If you want to talk out from your seat and not be respectful, then you'll be asked to leave. First warning.
Linda Cohn, with so much attention being focused on school boards, you no longer have the luxury as trustees of firing top administrators without cause. You have the right, but it's highly problematic because we know from experience that the public simply does not understand the firing without cause that takes place behind closed doors. We saw this vividly and clearly in Orange Unified School District, where we went through 14 months of hell. I don't want to go through that same experience in Placentia or Belinda. I would argue that the vote to fire without cause should be unanimous in this situation. I know that's rather extreme, but consider this: the vote to hire these people was unanimous just 18 months ago. A 4-to-1 supermajority should be the absolute minimum requirement for firing for any cause. But this raises a much bigger question. I'm asking all of you in front of me and behind me, how can you justify firing this administration team that has turned an 8-year decline in enrollment dramatically around? And that's just the beginning. You all heard about those test scores where our most disadvantaged kids had incredible leaps in math achievement on their test, directly related to the high quality tutoring that this administration implemented after the previous administration canceled summer school. I could go on, but my time is very limited. I simply want to say that satisfying union agendas should not trump protecting and educating our children and respecting each other. Dawn Miller, again, resident, retired assistant superintendent from Orange County. Per our board bylaws, and I just need to make sure we understand, that's how we make our decisions. It's not about what we want or what we think, but it's about how we are being governed. And per board bylaw 9325.3, every official action requires a majority vote for all the membership. It lists actions that require a 4 of 5 vote, and none of them would pertain to an employment agreement. As for the employment agreement for Alex Chernus, just in June, there was an extension of his contract to 2028 without any formal evaluation. This already is a violation of Board Policy 2111.1, Board Bylaw 9000, and Board Bylaw 9021A. Why would any Board of Education limit their ability to hold a superintendent or designee responsible and make it more difficult to terminate? The answer is they wouldn't. So why is this even an agenda item? Especially because it's a violation just to have it on the agenda, to be put to a vote, which is the responsibility of our superintendent and our president of the board. And as Ms. Blades was quoted in the Orange County Register today, it's because district employees fear losing their jobs. I have a side note. I didn't see any last year's termination of assistant superintendents or site administrators having a supermajority vote in order to be terminated. I guess we are only going to protect those who have maybe donated to a board president's reelection campaign or campaign against trustee Anderson for reelection, not conducting a formal evaluation on the superintendent and putting this in agreement is malpractice.
I'm Shiva. Board here. I would like to reiterate and ask the board to consider how amending the superintendent contract at this time is in any way beneficial to the families or the community that you represent. As was previously mentioned, the superintendent contract was already amended this year to extend his contract to 2028 without a performance review. If you felt it was so necessary to amend his contract to include a supermajority for termination with cause, why was the contract not amended as such at that time? As mentioned, President Blades has said in the comments to the media that this is because we need more oversight and this measure is needed to retain people. And she's called it hypocritical for members of the community and the board minority to oppose this because this type of clause has been added to past superintendent contracts. That's, however, not the case. As we know, the previous superintendent contracts, which were including super majorities, were for termination without cause, and this contract amendment would be for termination with cause. It should be noted, as mentioned, that this contract amendment comes after Dr. Chernus donated $150 to President Blades' reelection campaign, and he was seen at a campaign event for the candidate running in opposition to Ms. Anderson. Dr. Chernus is certainly free to do as he chooses. However, unless we would like to set a dangerous precedent for quid pro quo, I feel that President Blades should abstain from voting on this agenda item because it would be a clear conflict of interest. And I believe if there was any error or, thing counter to what I've said, that's not accurate. You can certainly call me out on it, but I think that we all know that that's the truth. Thank you.
Patricia Quintero. And I'm sorry, is this Chow Cow? I can't read this. Is this you, sir? Okay, thank you.
My name is Josh Schrader. I'm a St. Parent.
Dr. Turnus badly botched the USI construction and launch. Remember when it was going to be at Buena Vista, and continues to obfuscate its financial situation and enrollment numbers with half-truths. He has overseen an unprecedented exodus of experienced and beloved staff. His actions in no way warrant enhanced contract protection. If anything, they warrant an immediate performance review, something that he has inexplicably not had under the current board's leadership. Requiring a supermajority vote for dismissal with cause would violate state education code. This was not part of the previous superintendent's contract. The previous superintendent, Dr. Elsasser, supermajority clause was only for dismissal without cause. But you know what Dr. Elsasser's contract did specify? An annual performance review. This election was the public's first chance to provide a referendum on Dr. Turnus's actions as superintendent. In fact, for many of the people I spoke with, it was one of their primary motivations for which board candidate they chose to vote for. The new board deserves the same power over his employment and his potential with cause termination that this outgoing board has had. This contract amendment must be rejected. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for your patience for my questions earlier. Appreciate it. My name is Brooke Harper. I'm a parent, taxpayer, and proud member of this community. I oppose any changes to board policy, employment contracts, the addition of resolutions, additional board meetings, or any other major changes to how this board governs during this lame duck period between now and the December meeting. I did want to point out that not 2 years ago, the Republican Party released a parent revolt program that supported firing lawyers and superintendents without cause. So I'm a little baffled by these calls of these things being hypocritical. Here we are. The fact that you moved public comment to the end of the meeting just confirms once again for me that some of you on this stage have abandoned the board's mission to be a bridge between the community and the administration. That was not the case. I wish you cared about all of us. Yes. Shame on you.
Hello, my name is Trisha Quintero, and I wanted to speak today in regards to the proposed contract changes. These changes are being proposed with the guise of bettering school community. Unfortunately, the impression I have of these changes is not what is best for the community, but instead what is best for a select few. The community spoke 2 weeks ago. They do not want any more surprise changes. I was also shocked to see my opinion in a published article. I have not said anything in regards to this topic, nor have I ever publicly expressed my opinion in regards to any contract changes or employment matters. So, to say someone is afraid of possible firings is absolutely unfounded. This is truly disappointing, yet sadly not surprising.
Good evening. My name is Truman Cao. I'm a resident of Rio for about 20 years. And I just want to ask for fairness for this contract. Our president can lose the re-elections just by simple majority. Our governor can be recalled by simple majority. Even the board in front of me can lose and fail the re-election by simple majority. So out of one person in this district needs to hold highest accountability is the superintendent. A superintendent cannot be harder to be fired than the one he or she fires us. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Patricia Hansen, Jenny Murray, and Andy Falco.
I have no confidence in Superintendent Turnus or Board Member Trustee Leandra Blades, and I oppose contract changes. I'm going to reference a document that is entitled Bylaws of the Board, 9325.3, Actions of the Board. There's a section about non-agenda items. There's a section about actions requiring 4/5 vote of the board. There's three things you can do with a 4-5 vote. Those three things are the expenditure and transfer of necessary funds or use of district property or personnel to meet a national or local emergency created by war, military, naval, air attack, sabotage, or to provide for adequate national or local defense. The second reason to vote 4-5 is to adopt a resolution between July 15 and August 30th to borrow funds. The third reason would be to declare an emergency in order to authorize a district to include a particular brand name or product in a bid specification. Those are the only three reasons to ever use a 4-5 vote. A unanimous vote in that section says that you would need a unanimous vote to authorize the terms of a community lease for extraction of gas. The second reason would be for emergency exits that would need approval by the county superintendent of schools. And so those are the outline changes since 2014. The board has not changed these policies, and if you try to change them today, you are violating government, state law, and education code. So I have no confidence, and I also encourage the public to participate more and read up on these bylaws because we are getting gaslit tonight.
Hi, my name is Shani Murray. I'm a parent in the district, and I'm just trying to understand why you're attempting to undermine the new board majority. The only thing that will change is instead of Sean Youngblood, we'll have Trisha Quintero, who received the most votes out of any candidate running with almost 10,000 votes. She ran on a platform of student achievement, community engagement, fiscal responsibility and transparency, and informed decision-making. She promised to be an advocate for all children and a unifying voice in our community, treating everyone with dignity and respect. So what are you afraid of, and what are you trying to hide?
After months of lies from the teachers union about the current administration, namely how you all were firing hundreds of teachers and principals and were needlessly spending money, all of which were lies, that same teachers union is demanding that Quintero, Anderson, and Buck dismantle and destroy all the positive progress that has been made by Dr. Alex Chernis and his executive staff. In one of many racist and anti-Semitic posts against Dr. Chernis and Dr. Gates, the campaign workers of Quintero and Anderson write, T-minus 49 days until a new school board in audits. Bet there are a few people feeling nervous. I hope the first step is auditing USI, OCSCS, BYMS. I am almost giddy. Another one writes, I want them to know we are coming for them. I hope they are nervous. I hope Chernis is fired. Add the principal, Janice D says, add the principal of BYMS to that, and I am in. Time to cut out the cancer.
Yeah.
Can you imagine calling one of our finest, if not our finest principal, a cancer? I am begging and praying that none of you give in to Quintero, Anderson, and Buck and their attempt to destroy PYLUSD. Thank you.
That was wild.
Okay, I need a motion for 14.1, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the amended employment contract of Dr. Olivia Young, Assistant Superintendent of Education Services.
One second.
Okay. So just to recap about what is in front of us is we got a cease and desist today from. Don't get too excited. We got a cease and desist from the CTA, which is the California Teachers Association, and the APLE, which was, we also were brought into court today by a citizen and a little bit of an entourage, and they tried to essentially do a temporary restraining order on this vote tonight, and the judge denied the temporary restraining order. It is also found too that according to our attorney, the cease and desist does not have any merit, and so we are going to go ahead with the vote. However, I do have this question, and as we do go over these contracts, we do need to talk about the precedent that was set in 2020, which leads us to where we are tonight. What the judge said in court today was essentially they were trying to stop the vote because they said they don't like how we're gonna vote. It was kind of essentially that. And, next month, the board is gonna turn over, is what they said. And so what the judge said to this person was, he said, so Congress is still in session until January 3rd, I believe. Do we expect them to stop working? Do we expect them to stop making decisions? And I will say that Apple has also said, I write on behalf of the Association of Placentia Land Educators, CTA, and NEA, to inform you that the Placentia or Belinda Unified School District intend to require a supermajority vote of its Board of Education to approve the termination of employment contracts of 4 high-level district administrators would violate Ed Code. According to our attorney, it does not. And it says, as you are aware of a recent election, the composition of the district's Board of Education will be changing, and at least one new trustee will be replacing an outgoing trustee. And so essentially that is part of their problem and why they wanted to cease and desist. But we go back to 2020, and we go back to approximately 5 days before the November 2020 election, when there was a previous board of 5 people. 2 were not running for re-election, so there was going to be 2 board members already brought in, possibly 3. And so they went on a Sunday and they did a superintendent, they did superintendent interviews, and they gave a conditional offer of employment to Dr. James Elsasser 5 days before the November 2020 election. And so on November 10th of 2020, they offered Jim Elsasser a 4-year contract with a supermajority, knowing that 3 board members were going to not be sitting on the dais. And so I asked, what is the difference tonight from what we had in November? And I would also like to ask, my other question is where is the cease and desist from APLE and the CTA and the NEA to the board president at the time, Eric Padgett? Because we're in the same circumstance. In fact, we have more board members that aren't going to be on this thing. So where's the cease and desist? Is it because Eric Padgett was a part of the CT and the NEA? Is it because the union was okay with the hire? What is the difference tonight from what our board is doing? So what you're telling me, I'm not asking you guys this question. I'm saying you're not. So what I'm telling So what I'm saying is there's no difference from now in 2020 to now into 2024. But that's why.
I'd like to
Well,
comment.
I'm still speaking. 1 second. For them to quiet. So that's where my thoughts are, and that's also too, it's been spoken with for the attorney. Jim Elsasser never had an evaluation. He was here for 18 months. So all of these comments about evaluations, Jim Elsasser never had an evaluation. Mike Matthews didn't have an evaluation. So that's kind of moot. And also, we also feel too that another part of these contracts is that there's some things that are just going on behind the scenes that we feel that there's some stuff that's going on behind the scenes that this would actually be a move to protect the district, because if anybody made moves to fire Dr. Chernus in December as social media stating or any of these things, that could be considered retaliatory. For instance, this cease and desist that we received today from APLE, I'm not sure if everybody is understanding here, this is the first superintendent and this is the first cabinet and the first law firm that has actually held the union president to her contract. We have not been receiving any funds from the CTA or from Apple to fund her employment contract. So it has been told to us that she is working outside of her contract and has been since 2004. And so we have a potential misuse of public funds. And this person right here is holding her accountable, the first superintendent in 20 years, and this board majority also. Now this year, 50% of the salary will be paid to the district by Apple or the CTA. And next year, 100% of her salary will be paid by CTA or APLE. But the problem that we have here is we have what appears to be some retaliatory acts from our teachers union. And why is that? Is that because we're holding, we have people on our executive cabinet or superintendent holding people accountable for these things. I'm also concerned about any type of retaliatory action for things that are also going on in HR from our board. And so when we were reviewing the contracts and found that Dr. Elsasser was given the supermajority 4-1, and then Dr. Matthews was given the same. And so I said, would you guys like a supermajority in your contract as well? And what we think happened was we think that our change in offer, when we had Atkinson, AAYLR, they were giving the supermajority because that's where it started with that law firm. And so when I asked David Peff why we didn't, offer that, he says he usually just waits for the superintendent or the person in contract to ask for it or the board to ask for it. So we're doing it tonight, which is no different than what happened 4 years ago. And we're not lame ducks. We're still moving forward. We're still, doing all of this. So that's what we have from court. Obviously, the judge denied the TRO. Our attorney has said that all of this and what we're doing tonight is legal. And it's not violating board bylaws. It's not violating board policy, because it's been done before. So Todd, do you have anything?
Thank you, Todd. I appreciate that. So I was actually the one here when Elsasser's contract was done. So let me just point out the reasons why they're different. Number one, those two contracts were approved at a 5-0 vote. Doesn't appear like you're gonna have a supermajority tonight to get this supermajority clause added. Neither Elsasser nor Matthews contracts had a 5-0 clause for unilateral termination with or without cause. This is an addition, in this one, it's a 4-1 even with cause. These contracts with Dr. Elsasser, with Dr. Elsasser, it was an initial contract for his employment and the only way that he would accept the position in a community that was divided. We also took a long 6-month process and had a climate survey done throughout the entire community to get input from the community, from students, from teachers, to find out what kind of administrator they wanted. That was never done here. The reason why Dr. Elsasser did not get an evaluation is because he resigned before it came to that time. So at that point, then we had to go out and look for another superintendent. And we decided to do an interim superintendent at that time because there was a board election coming up. And we wanted the new board to be able to have that opportunity because of what had happened in the past. We didn't want to recreate that. His contract was a year and it had a supermajority and a clause as well, because he was the only one that applied, the only one that we interviewed, and the only one that was willing to take the job at the time. So, very different. And at that time, we did not have assistant superintendents clause contracts in there as well. When you have now, if this gets passed, you have assistant superintendents that also can't be terminated with a 4-1 vote, even at the recommendation of the superintendent. I'm going to vote no. One last thing. Board bylaw 9,000, board and superintendent roles and responsibilities. The role of the board is to ensure that the superintendent holds district personnel accountable. You can't do that with these contracts.
Okay, I have a couple of questions
questions. You keep saying we,
Yeah.
and, in the contracts, it clearly states that it's the desire of the board to amend this agreement. So who on the board desired this? To the board?
Well, if we vote yes, then that amount of the board is saying that they want to do it.
Okay, because I found out about this on Friday, so
That's standard.
I am not part of this desire.
Comes out every
to
Friday.
amend the board. Okay. And, let me see what other questions I have for you. I think Mrs. Buck covered everything else I'm looking for. But I just want to say that I think you're misrepresenting what the attorney gave us. He gave us a legal opinion. And if we would like to waive a simple majority, we can actually read that. And the community can be clear on what the attorney said. So. Yes, you guys agreed to that we could.
I'm willing to waive it to read the opinion of the attorney.
I too.
Of course. What you're saying to vote to.
Just to read the opinion.
If we have a consensus, we can read the thing, because Mrs. Blade says that it's not illegal. And my read of what the attorney said is different.
And I asked for David Huff to be here today on 2 separate occasions, and I was denied.
David Huff said that he had given his legal opinion to the board, and I believe he was also in court all day today, so he couldn't make it.
Well, Dr. Turnus is the one that told me he could not attend, that he would not be attending.
The board has a legal opinion. It's been vetted by council. The board has the ability to waive privilege. It's not my recommendation to read legal opinions in public.
Well, I would concur. I think we're setting a precedent. Privilege. I mean, you can laugh at all you want, that's fine. But I think it would be inappropriate for us to set that precedent to waive the.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I just want to say that my opinion.
And the fake mask mandate
As in
came
my
back in.
opinions of this opinion do not match up.
Okay.
And, also, I just think, it's a really poor comparison to compare the 2 contracts of prior superintendents, because they had a simple majority for cause to get, fired. And it just breeds, corruption, thank you. It just breeds corruption to do that, and I don't think that's how our government's set up. That's not how it works, and I think it's wrong, so I will be voting no on all of these contracts.
Okay, so.
You know, for me, for those that might not be in the know, did you by chance see the last board meeting?
Yeah.
Did we see the amount of supposedly educators and teachers in our district that were acting absolutely foolish, where you would think that they were part of a 7th grade class, giving FUs to Dr. Chernus, saying that they would want him fired if they had the choice. And it was so disappointing. These are people in which are educating your kids. And if they're willing to act that way in public, what do they do behind the closed doors of their classrooms?
So I think if you're referring to Mr. Davison, that's really just disrespectful. Really just.
And I would agree. Well, and hold on, Kevin. I don't, there was a lot of talking in the crowd.
Absolutely.
So, and I, Mr. Davis.
I understand. I love that man so much.
I appreciate the, that's really great. However, I don't think that's what Mr.
Yeah,
Governor is correct.
I understand the general of last meeting. That was crazy.
Absolutely. So, with that,
But I'm glad it's clear now that we have had that conversation.
with that, I think it was very clear that, there was already going to be an issue once the election was over, if the board got switched, that they were going to target, certain members up here on the dais. And whether or not that, you think, Dr. Chernis and his staff are doing decent jobs, the one thing that we continue to forget is it's about the kids, and everyone who really had such a deep disdain for, we're looking at Dr. Chernis or any of the board members and totally forgetting about the whole reason in which we're up here. And we're completely forgetting that this is about the kids and their education. Okay, we have a tendency to go after one particular person, but that is in itself just a person. And it's not it might be an ideology, it might be ideas in which you guys may be disappointed or disagree with, but I guarantee you the person is all for the kids in the district. And I can tell you that if I myself want to insulate Dr. Chernis and this amazing staff that he's got around him, then I will do so. So my vote will be yes.
I'll make my comments brief. I think this is a move in consistency. One of our comments earlier was about the situation in Orange Unified this last year. That was an absolute mess. And it was because there was action taken without enough evidence pulled together to make that move, and it caused an uproar out there. I also would like to say that regardless of whether it's cause or without cause, if there is an issue and we need to change leadership, I am all for voting for changing leadership. So well, no, but I'm saying, well, my point is, if it needs to be supermajority, my guess is if we've got cause, we're wanting to root without cause, I doubt that's gonna happen, but it would be a 5-0 majority vote, just like it was to hire. So I think that there's things that have been said that if came to fruition, I think that's a problem. I think this helps keep us consistent and based on legal opinion, I feel comfortable moving forward to the contract, so I'll be voting.
People refuse to read. Those Kelly just.
I also just,
Five zero.
just gotta fight cops. Just today on this, some of these websites, people have said, like there was your comment.
Everyone voted to fire Joey.
I guess I.
Let me just remind everybody, this is the board that votes. They don't vote. And when you have a new board member that comes in, that board will be voting. It doesn't matter what it says on social media, what anybody says, the assumptions that are made. There are so many assumptions being made of what is going to happen, and you don't know that. So by making decisions now, you're actually legislating for the future board, which is against the law.
I think that's an opinion.
Because it said just a recall. If Todd Frazier votes for this tonight, he could be up for a recall. And then it even goes further, you can get a recall, until after 90 days. And then like basically a candidate who's lost, they'll take over, they'll do a seat for the district. And so what I'm saying here is, we have people that are like actually threatening recall just based on our decisions up here. Like there's threats on social media. So I'm just saying is like, we're holding firm because look at Orange. I mean, now Orange Unified, they've had a rough 14 months and then they gave those raises and now we're looking at, they're their funding is going, they're in a deficit.
In the
spending
toilet.
If they, from some of the stuff that's happened because they don't have any consistency in their district.
I just want to add, I think
Yeah.
it's really sad that we can read social media, but we can't read an attorney's. They can read it.
You didn't understand
You didn't understand it.
It's more than a legal opinion, it's pending litigation. And so it'd be irresponsible to do that, and you know well that that is not.
So you're saying there's gonna be litigation because you haven't notified us?
I'm saying there was today.
You were in court today.
We were in court today.
I wasn't notified that there was
wasn't
court today.
notified Today, that we were in court.
I sent you your.
No, you didn't. You sent me the after report, but you didn't send it to me.
So again, this is potential litigation.
These are reasons why I have concerns. I don't get all of the information.
Because it wasn't we, and I think there's a lot of issues here, and I think we should just put this aside and go back to the attorney and get this straightened out, because I think we already had litigation today that I wasn't aware of, but till after the fact, but all this is gonna do is.
Should have been the union paid for her campaign.
What is the financial impact? What is the financial impact? Sure, I understand, but litigation happens all the time too, like that.
What's your problem?
No, you're making an assumption, just like Carrie said, that people have a lot of opinions, but you're making an assumption that means that this is going to cause that. We don't know that.
Well, Dr.
That was previous, as what we talked about earlier today, yes, absolutely, that's a mini no. But I think that we are talking about a bunch of opinions up here. You have stated your opinion, Carrie stated hers, Sean stated his, I stated mine, and Landon stated hers, and that's what we're here for, to make judgments based on how we see the facts and situations, and I think it's time for a vote.
Yes, I do too. Before we go for vote, I was going to add on here, onto the termination agreement that, it says, and this will be for all of them, so it'll be the same language, but it says for failure by Young to substantially perform the duties or responsibilities as set forth in this agreement found by clear and convincing evidence. And then in addition, the district may terminate this
Which
agreement.
Paragraph is that? And what's the
I'm
point?
sorry, it's A. It looks like the very first paragraph. You see it now?
Yeah, in that first sentence.
Right, and so it says, in addition, the district may terminate this agreement for breach of contract if it determines in its sole discretion, determined by clear and convincing evidence. So just putting that in, and then also. What was that?
Excuse me, we have a motion? Are you making a motion to amend?
I'm making a motion to amend the,
Can you state your motion to amend so the board has it?
If nobody made a motion, she was talking about a potential change. I don't know if that adding the language is necessary.
I know.
Can only amend the motion.
Is, Dr. Chernus, is that a recommendation to amend the?
Oh, that's not why my ex. Oh, I know.
Ms. Wade is making a recommendation.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
and the green and the green that crossed out.
So can we take a break and get copies of that so that we can all see what the changes are? It's gotta pass with one copy here.
I don't support amending what we have.
Okay.
I would just like at least even discuss it now.
Well, it's just at least the language, like we just discussing other things. But sometimes you see sit here and we add language, but
Exactly, that's why I would like.
but if we're not going to have a motion to amend it, then let's go ahead with the vote. The original,
I think the original's fine.
perfect.
Oh,
Okay. All those in favor? Mrs. Buck,
No.
Mrs. Anderson,
No.
Mr. Yepler,
Aye.
Mr. Frazier.
Aye.
I am an aye, and
It wasn't gonna.
This is for 14.
I don't think you can vote on this kind of stuff.
oh, that's true. Yeah, I was hoping you would just say abstain.
No.
Okay, so which one? I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the amended employment contract for Emily Gray, Assistant of Student Support Services, 14.2.
I'll second.
All right. Since we've already had all the discussions on all of these, do I have any more comments? Any more comments?
I just reaffirmed my previous comments.
Perfect.
Say.
All those in favor?
No.
No.
Aye.
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Motion carries 3-2. I'm sorry, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the amended employment contract for Dr. Isaiah Gates, Deputy Superintendent, 14.3.
I'll second.
All right, I have a motion by Mr. Fraser, I have a second by Mr. Youngblood. All right. I was checking your gender. All those in favor? No. Okay, I'm gonna roll call vote. Mrs. Buff?
No.
Mrs. Anderson?
No.
Mr. Youngblood?
Absolutely.
Mr. Fraser?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Motion carries 3-2. I need a motion for 14.4.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract for Dr. Alex Turnus, superintendent.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Mr. Youngblood, I have a second by Mr. Fraser. All those in favor?
I have comments.
I don't know. I've seen her before.
Okay, so for this particular agenda item, this in addition to all the rest, but I'm gonna point out all of the different violations here. This violates Government Code 54952.6. Action taken means collective action, decision made by a majority of the members of a legislative body. 54957, this chapter shall not be construed to prevent the legislative body of a local agency from holding closed sessions during a regular or special meeting to consider the appointment, employment, evaluation of performance, discipline, or dismissal of a public employee. Article 4 of Ed Code, powers and duties of governing boards. Ed Code 35010, every school district shall be under the control of a board of school trustees or a board of education. Ed Code 35164, the governing board shall act by majority vote of all of the membership constituting the governing board. Ed Code 35161, the governing board, however, retains ultimate responsibility over the performance of those powers delegated by law or duties so delegated. Per board bylaw 9325.3, actions by the board, every official action requires a majority vote by all board members. While some actions require 4 out of 5 vote, none of these pertain to the employment agreement. This contract violates board policy 21111.1, evaluation of superintendent. Board policy 9000, board and superintendent roles and responsibilities. Board bylaw 9010, board authority 9020, board powers and authority. Board 09021A, professional governance standards of the board. Beyond these policy violations, the board responsibility includes hiring and supervising the superintendent to ensure alignment of the district's board vision, goals, and policies. Why would any board of education compromise this? This amendment violates government Ed Code board policies and undermines responsible governance. A 4-1 supermajority or 80%, which is quoted in there, is if less than 5 is statistically impossible. With 4 board members, it would require a 4-4 vote or 100% to meet the 80% threshold. This 3-4 vote would only get you 75% of the way, and you would never get to the point where you could terminate without cause, even with that. Again, I'm voting no.
Okay. Roll call vote, please.
No.
Mrs. Anderson?
No.
Mr. Youngblood?
Once again, did our lawyer go over this particular, and what is it that he mentioned?
He said that this was legal, and he said it was fine, and he also did go for.
That's not quite accurate.
Okay. Aye.
Yes.
Oh, aye.
And I'm an aye, motion carries 3-2. Okay, so we have now a public hearing about OCSES, and so we are actually gonna do our. Dr. Fisher, would you like to hear the comments first, so you can possibly address any of the comments in the public hearing, or would you like to do a public hearing first?
Do we have a law or something around that? Yeah.
No, there's no law about this, Ms. Buck. She's free to present as long as we have public comment within.
Is there any rule on when the hearing is open, then they do it, or before?
Okay.
Sounds good. So we are gonna open up the public hearing at 7:39 PM. And I'll call the speakers forward. We have Don Miller, Joshua Schroeder, Heidi Chipman, and Curtis McCaffrey. Hold on. There's 8. Sorry, so you wanna be at the end? I'll move you to.
Yeah. I've never seen his face before. His face. This is so crazy. His face, I've never seen his face before. He always has a huge mask on.
Whenever you're ready.
John Miller, I'm back. So I am here to respond now to this public hearing. In regards to this public hearing, board members who would be in support of this are in violation of Board Policy 1160, Board Bylaw 9021A, Board Policy 9200, and possibly for you, Ms. Blades, possibly Board Bylaw 9250, which is conflict of interest. This action is very alarming. From reading the proposal, it is giving up the district's governance of this school, as well as moving ahead with the controversial USI program, which again, have been developed quickly and with little transparency. The superintendent and board president has been telling the community that this school is a district charter. No worries. It's so great. We need to spend millions of dollars to make the top of the line for our kids. And it sounds like it's a wonderful program. We've been hearing how great this program is, and again, started very quickly without the opportunity for vetting. USI is also one of those programs that was developed quickly without transparency, and supposedly a great program for our kids as well. But now the superintendent and the board president want to put a board agenda item to begin the process of calling for a vote to give this school and USI program away and make it an independent charter, which our board would not oversee as one of our schools. The Orange County Register article also quoted Ms. Blades stating that the proposed changes have been in consideration for some time now. Well, what does that say to us? That says that even though they've been telling us as a district that this is a district school, that they're now again lying to us in the public since they've had this in mind the whole time. This board election results just made the movement on it faster than probably intended. So what superintendent and school board president ever on the face of the earth and beyond would ever give away a district school? The answer again is none, none, none. And no board members would ever be willing to donate the millions of dollars to an independent charter that has a board that controls the governance of staff and budget. This school belongs to us, the district, and to our PYLUSD board to be responsible for that oversight. It appears that this change may be to protect maybe the current charter principle, as well as maybe beginning to take public schools away and converting them into charter schools. Could be something of one or more of your desires.
I love
Board Policy 9200 states board members are to be champions of the public schools. These board policies and board work need to be the law of which you govern.
You good? Again, I'm Josh Rader, parent at PYLUSD. My question is this: why is this happening in the middle of the first year? Students just started at OCS this fall, the first class. Why would we allow a less than 3-month-old district charter to suddenly become an autonomous entity? How could we possibly know if it will succeed or fail in the long run? Standardized testing for the year hasn't even happened yet. Why should we give up elected control to a nebulous charter board in the middle of its first year? This is a gross abdication of our board's financial responsibilities to taxpayers and educational responsibilities to the children at OCSES. Secondly, what in the world does an elite sports institute have to do with a computer science focused middle school? The only reason USI is in the Bernardo Yorba NPR in the first place is due to Dr. Chernus's mismanagement of the USI construction process at UW. These two projects have nothing to do with each other. There are very real problems with the USI finances, and this board has not been transparent about them. The truth is this: you are trying to cover your mistakes by hiding the USI in the OCSES and sweeping it all under an independent charter. And you are trying to do it now before the new board takes office. There is no other reason to explain why this is happening so quickly and so suddenly. Thank you.
Good evening, and I have been, well, I'm a lifetime member of Yorba Linda, in Yorba Linda school districts, and I've taught in the district for 35 years. And I just am, I'm overwhelmed at what I've seen happen in the last years here, and it breaks my heart. The initial reason to create a public charter school is to increase flexibility and innovation within public education. Your Placentia Yorba Linda Unified School District has one of the most outstanding, flexible, innovative program from K or pre-K through high school. Why we would want to have the financial hit of sending students, if we lose 2 students to a private charter school per grade level, we will lose the per pupil funding, but the fixed administration costs will remain the same. Also, financial hits are serious. Moody's investment service reports that charter schools can negatively affect the district's credit ratings. We continue with this board mostly to put the cart before the horse. And when you listen to the speakers, pro and con, on both sides, it is important that you remember you are representing all of our districts. Yes. All of our districts. And it breaks my heart that we're fighting over, to make a charter school. We never wanted a charter school. Never, and especially one that's not run. We will have non-qualified teachers. We will have, well, they don't have to be qualified. Charter school teachers have different credential systems than we do. Anyway, I'm speaking from my heart, and I'm very disappointed in our school board currently, with 2 exceptions.
April, Maria Lapita Steps, and Porter James Hughes. Did you grab the comment card? Go ahead and put it in. Oh, you did? I'm not done with all the speakers yet, so you're probably in here. I have April. I have Maria Lapita Stubbs, and then I have Porter James Hughes.
Thank you, everybody, for your time tonight. I have a unique opportunity to present to you or present to you my opinion, my experience with this charter school as a parent of a sixth grader and an eighth grader, and also as a member of the advisory council. So I have been privy to see the budget in action and to be a part of how the money is running and seeing where it's coming from and where it is going. And I have to tell you, as a parent, I'm extremely pleased. Actually, my daughter wanted to come today. We brought things for you guys to see what they're doing in the innovation lab that is at risk of losing the materials to survive if we continue with the politics that are happening regarding this school. I've been a member of this community for almost 20 years myself. All of my kids have come through this. They've been in the pathways. They've been at all different levels of the school. We have always consistently in this community put children first. So on some of us, I do disagree with that. This is not new to put kids first in this community, but it also has been in creating different learning opportunities for students. I had a younger sister who was homeschooled. She had to go through the Department of Education through the county. This is the first district that I know that had their own homeschool program through the district that the community members were able to service their students in that way. That's a fantastic, far-reaching beyond, other districts. That's a far-reaching level of flexibility when it comes to teaching kids. Buena Vista Academy, Venture Academy. These are all things that we have provided throughout the community forever. So this is nothing new. Unfortunately, what we're asking is that we don't want to do this. What we just did for the last hour, we just want to be able to provide for the kids an opportunity to do what they love, learn how they learn. And I want to remind you guys, the bad mouthing that goes on, there is a full staff of teachers teaching our children who are committed and passionate to their learning. I have been in the classrooms. I have sat in meetings. They have families, they have children, they have lives, they have dedication to do what they are doing. So when the critics come up and they want to talk bad about this school and put them down, and I've read, they actually do have to be credentialed teachers. There are rules about that, and they are passionate about doing so. So if you're a teacher or an educator and you are putting them down, you are really doing yourselves a disservice as educators as well. This is a solid group of people who are passionate about our children. So I would advise that you be very careful when you speak about them, because unless you've come and spent time in their classroom, you are speaking out of turn. And it's unfortunate. And we also have kids who love this experience and are thriving. And I'm sorry that it's come to this point, but it's damaging to them to not do this. And as part of the community, you do represent all of us. And there is a large group of people who came back to the school because this is what they wanted. So you're not underrepresented. Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. President Blake, Superintendent Dr. Chernis, staff and community. My name, as you know, is Maria Lupita Stubbs, and I am a parent of PYLUSD. Recently, I attended the Orange County School of Computer Science event, the Cornucopia 2024, where families toured the campus and visited the state-of-the-art labs. It was an experience type of event. Every parent said the same thing over and over. My child can't wait to go to school here every day. They love it. They wake up in the morning and they're excited about going to school. How many of you hear that on a consistent basis from, the community? So, seeing students fully engaged in learning made it clear as to why OPS is such a successful program. It is frustrating that a small group of people decide to go ahead and criticize this school and refer to it as a waste of taxpayer dollars. These people are entirely out of touch. The reality is that our children and our students are achieving excellent outcomes, and we should all be very happy about that, and we should be supporting that. So these critics of this school actually have no issues wasting taxpayer funds by legally challenging the district's supermajority clause, as they did this morning. Knowing very well that this is a standard practice for our past two superintendents. And why do they do that? Because they wish to simply carry out the APLE's agenda for control of our school board. And so as a community, we need to really put kids first, as opposed to the APLE agenda. So please vote for this. I ask you, trustee Schomblot, Fraser Landra. I know Anderson and Buckmont. They really don't have kids' best interest in mind. No, they don't. So thank you.
All right, our next speaker, Patricia Hanso, Colleen Wood, and, oh, I'm sorry, did I miss you? I'm sorry. Go ahead, order, sorry.
Good evening. My name is Porter James Hughes. I'm here on behalf of the California School Employees Association, the other labor union here at the Central Yorba Linda that just took over your board, as you just said. We proudly represent over 280,000 classified school employees across the great state of California, including right here in Placentia Yorba Linda Unified. I stand before you today to express CSEA's strong opposition to the proposed conversion of the Orange County School of Computer Science to an independent charter school. This move poses a serious threat to the students of this district and the classified employees who work tirelessly to serve them every single day. This conversion would strip students and classified staff of fundamental rights and protections they currently enjoy under district oversight. Independent charter schools often operate without the same accountability or guarantees of equitable treatment that public school districts are required to provide. For our dedicated classified employees who support this school, the conversion would mean the loss of critical workplace protections, including their current collective bargaining agreement and access to fair wages and benefits. On behalf of CSEA and the classified employees we represent, I urge this board to halt this reckless proposal and prioritize transparency, accountability, and fairness for the entire school community. The students and employees of this district deserve better. Thank you.
Patricia Hanso, Colleen Wood, and Jenny Martin.
I am a parent in this community. I am a homeowner and I'm a taxpayer. On item 15, I encourage you as board members to vote no. It is not in the interest of students, parents, or families. I also have a request to avoid conflict of interest regarding this school site, Bernardo Yorba Middle School in the city of Yorba Linda. We need trustee Blades, Leander Blades, to recuse herself on votes related to Bernardo Yorba Middle School and the OC School of Computer Science and UCI, which are located on the same site. There's a conflict of interest since her son works there as a security guard. She has a vested interest. Voters have spoken, but the current board members are aiming to undermine the incoming duly elected board members.
This needs to be on OCSCS.
It is.
Public hearing.
It is.
Okay.
Stop interrupting. The newly elected board members take their oath of office on December 17th. I urge trustee Todd Frazier, which is an accountant from what I understand, and trustee Sean Youngblood, which is a firefighter, to vote no on motions that aim to rush spending or motions to cause the public to lose a school site. This site is publicly owned and paid by my tax dollars. The new board members, the current board members had their 4 years. And in January, there's going to be a new board with their 4 years. The NPR at this site was changed and covered up and filled up with equipment and chambers and mats and exercise equipment. I'm not sure if all 3.6 million of that money is housed there. So I suggest we take an inventory of which exercise equipment UCI is located on that site. The library books were moved out because the school site needed a meeting room. and all those library books were in the hallway. The management of this site is something I am not proud of. You should not be having library books in the hallway, because if there's an earthquake, that's going to pose a threat to students at Bernardo Yorba Middle School. The management of this school site has been poor. Last month in October, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, the principal there went on a social media tirade scolding parents and community members. I emailed the board and I emailed the superintendent asking if she had authority to represent the district. Does she have district approval to go on social media and attack us parents? That is something that I want you to take into account. Has this been dealt with in a careful way, in a professional manner? Because I don't think it has.
Thank you.
My name is Colleen Wood, and I'm the parent of 2 students in the district who are zoned for OCSCS. My husband and I chose to buy a home in Yorba Linda, like so many other families, because of the reputation of the school district. Last year, when the new school was announced, it was difficult to get much information about the change, other than the opportunities will, quote, be amazing before it was approved. That was in an email from Dr. Chernis. It feels as though the same rushed process is happening again, and instead of taking the time to enhance what could possibly be a superb educational experience for our students and address concerns such as those with the honors contracts, the advanced math placement, and discipline challenges, the school board is instead choosing to cram 2 ill-planned and ill-advised programs into one school, away from this elected board supervision that will have disastrous results for the future of our district and its students. I'm here for my kids and all kids in this district to fight for our school. Why the rush?
Thank you.
Thank you. Shandy Murray, PYL parent. You all sold us on the computer science charter by touting it as a district-run charter. You voted 5-0 to deny the outside CRLA charter in favor of starting our own. So it seems to me everyone here should be against changing the governance structure and against establishing a separate fund for financial management. Anyone who supports fiscal responsibility and transparency, who cares about local students and protecting their district resources, and who truly wants to be an advocate for PYLUSD should vote against this petition. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the last minute edition of a comment. I just wanted to address one thing because none of the other commenters spoke on this. The fact that this school also houses the dual language program, and I'm a parent and a student in that program currently at Glenview Elementary. And when we signed up, I've actually been a parent of 2 students in that program. And we really love that program, and it's a fantastic asset to our district. I must say that the teachers and the administration of that school are fantastic. But my point is this: when we signed up for this program, we were sold a bill of goods, which outlined a pipeline from elementary through high school. And we're looking forward to continuing our students in that pipeline. My concern is that by squeezing so many diverse programs, which may sound like great programs, by squeezing so many programs into this school, we are jeopardizing what is a fantastic program and which already has a wonderful pipeline and amazing community support in favor of other programs which, may have their merits. But to me, it seems that this is really ill-advised because it's going to sacrifice the opportunities for our dual language kids. And I would say, with regard to this having an impact on school enrollment, which we seem to be very focused on, there are other schools which are, for instance, equally distant from my house, such as Ladera Vista and other districts which offer a similar program that may have better opportunities for this school to convert to a charter. So parents may consider that a better option for their kids, and we could actually lose students from this district to other programs. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mrs. Fisher, or Dr. Fisher. I am going to end our public hearing at 8. Oh, you have to present too? Okay, so we're still. Got it. All right.
Call me Jeremy. President Blades, trustees, incredible superintendent who I'm honored to serve, Dr. Alex Jernus, and executive committee. I respectfully come forward to you today, and I do have, if you recall, in October of last year, we put together a presentation and I narrated it. I have prepared the narration ahead of time so that there can be absolute clarity in what the revision is calling for. On this Tuesday, November the 19th, 2024, I bring forward a revision to our charter petition for your consideration. With unanimous approval from this Board of Education, we opened our doors to students in August of 2024. We are very proud of our 360-degree experience at OCSES. Culture first, learning second, leading to higher achievement. Given the current misunderstandings, I want to take a moment to clarify some key points and address the misinformation that has been circulating. We will do this in a myth-fact format. Myth: OCSES drains funds from PYLUSD. Fact: OCSES funding is ADA-based and does not impact PYLUSD beyond enrolled students. OCSES is still a PYLUSD school. Myth: charters are unaccountable. Fact: OCSES undergoes annual independent audits and complies with AB 1505 financial reporting. Myth: the addition of USI to the charter was forced. Fact: as USI is on the campus of OCSES, as we make this move to an autonomous structure, it made sense for all operations to fall under OCSES. Myth: USI will drain the OCSES budget. Fact: USI has its own operating costs determined by ADA funding. There cannot be funds allocated beyond the ADA funding unless OCSES seeks a grant or donations to provide additional funding to USI. Myth: moving to an autonomous budget and governing structure makes OCSES a private charter. Fact: charter schools, including OCSES, are public schools. Charters are tuition-free, open to all students, and are funded through public tax dollars like district schools. Charter schools must adhere to state educational standards and accountability measures. Myth: charters are able to employ staff without credentials or authorizations to teach. Fact: charter schools, including OCSES, are required by law to employ credentialed teachers for core academic subjects. AB 1505 mandates that all charter school teachers hold appropriate California credentials, including intern credentials. OCSES not only complies with this requirement, but also invests in staff development to maintain high teaching and learning standards. Myth: in this move, OCSES is now considered an independent charter school and is no longer a PYLUSD school. Fact: OCSES operates under the local funding structure with all funds distributed to PYLUSD, and then PYLUSD directly allocates those funds to OCSES, maintaining its status. Looks like we're crashing the internet, guys. I can't go forward with it. I'm quite knowledgeable of everything there in this. As we are waiting for this to happen, I want to thank the many parents, the current OCSES parents who are here. You will notice that we did not have very many parents comment because prior to this, I had asked our parents to refrain from making public comment if they felt that they could do so, because I'm a big believer that actions speak louder than words. And I want to say thank you so much for your presence here tonight,
for your partnership with our school. And ultimately, at the end of the day, I had asked them not to engage in public comment because we need to come together in a unified manner.
Dr. Fisher, while we're waiting, can we acknowledge our amazing OCS teachers? If you're an OCS teacher here, can you please stand?
So actually, on that note, talk about, we actually typically, I do want to applaud them. We actually typically do fill the seats with our teachers. So in addition to that, I had an ask. People have their First Amendment right. They can come to whatever board meetings they want to come to, as evidenced by your presence here. But I had asked the teachers to refrain from coming and asked our two most veteran teachers to serve as a representation for them. Our two most veteran teachers were obviously a part of the former school, Bernardo Urban Middle School, and help carry forward this important work. Our teachers need to stay focused on the classroom, and they have a very busy day tomorrow. And so the reason why our teachers are not here, but I do want to say hi. I've been getting lots of text messages from you guys. We love you very much, and we hope that you go to bed at a reasonable hour because you are going to be serving kids bright and early in the morning. I can work to do this.
They don't have control. They go off like they don't know. Control. I just want control. It's all about control. I'm pretty sure you're going to 50. If I'm not 50. No, she's like 8, so they like me. Her not coming to class. You know, they could work like me too.
Should we just do the
We could close it and reopen it.
Need to start. I just. And I don't understand why. This is what happens. And watch your teacher, you give it back. Yeah. That's the fun thing. Yes. How many children that's right. It's a lot. Oh, did you? But I don't understand. Like, why do you go to science and they say yeah. So why do you? That is everywhere. Yeah. Did you not trust? Did you? Right.
to employ credentialed teachers for academic subjects. AB 1505 mandates that all charter school teachers hold appropriate California credentials, including intern credentials. OCSES not only complies with this requirement, but also invests in staff development to maintain high teaching and learning standards. Myth. In this move, OCSES is now considered an independent charter school and is no longer a PYLUSD school. Fact. OCSES operates under the local funding structure with all funds distributed to PYLUSD, and then PYLUSD directly allocates those funds to OCSES, maintaining its status as a PYLUSD school. Similarly, El Rancho Charter in the neighboring Orange Unified School District follows this model. While OCSES is not independent of PYLUSD, it has the autonomy to align its implementation with the charter's goals. This structure also provides access to additional grants and funding opportunities that would not otherwise be available. Myth. A board of education or a charter authorizer can shut the charter down whenever they want. Fact. Charter schools, including OCSES, are subject to specific conditions under AB 1505 that may lead to their closure. These include involvement in illegal activities by the charter school and poor performance at the end of the charter petition term, specifically if the school ranks in the bottom 2 performance levels across all state indicators.
The Charter School Act of 1992 was created with these goals in mind: improving student learning, providing more learning opportunities for all students, encouraging innovative teaching methods, and creating new professional development opportunities for our teachers. At the end of this, it also ensures that we give parents and students more choices in their educational opportunities. It is evident that even in the earliest stages of implementation, that the Orange County School of Computer Sciences is showing large amounts of success in aligning and enacting the goals set forth by the Charter School Act of 1992. As we bring forward this revision to our charter petition, we do so with intention. We recognize that with these changes come a number of questions. Among them, why? In our initial charter petition, we identified various challenges that face modern American education, including learning loss from the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as the inability for American public schools to keep up with innovative efforts, especially in the arena of technological and computer sciences. One of the biggest challenges to overcoming systemic issues in American public schools is that relating to mental models. Mental models are what we view or believe to be true about the world. So I want to reference for you as we go through this presentation, organizational expert Peter Senge, when he said, mental models are deeply held internal images that limit us to familiar ways of thinking and acting. Very often, we are not consciously aware of our mental models or the effects they have on our behavior. So going to ask you the essential question before we dive into the details of this revision. How might our mental models of education shape how we view education reform and innovation? Typical mental models of school include the outdated, the late 1800s, early 1900s backwards. If you look at American public schools, you do have to question, to what extent are we still reinforcing these structures? Teachers, as the keepers and holders of knowledge, ultimately having that power structure to disseminate knowledge. The one-size-fits-all approach to education and those traditional achievement markers of the A through F grade being the end-all, be-all. As we bring forward this charter petition revision, we know why reframing matters in educational reform. We are going from taking systemic issues in American public schooling, many of which we already mentioned previously,